Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name's Jen, and we're going to be doing a little bit of meditation this morning. I just wanted to allow, I think, an opening of space for when we share, and just a kind of a general understanding. But when we share, it's fascinating how it can help us, and it can allow us to share with people that we feel safe and secure with. It can really do a lot of internal healing. It can make us feel very heard. There's also the flip side too, that even with safe people, even with the beautiful people in our lives, when we can share something that feels um, very close to us or very raw, that share can also leave us feeling very vulnerable. And that sensation, even though it usually tends to be that there's forward movement in it and it's just change, so it's truly just your emotional and mental state kind of readjusting to that change, it can also leave a little bit of uh, I can only speak for myself, but it can leave senses of guilt, or it can leave sometimes just where our mental brain has the opportunity to just kind of take this story and run with it, and it can lower our vibration. It can definitely bring us into a state of let's call it unneeded suffering, or unneeded mental energy that's being spent. And so this meditation I did last night because it was a big weekend. There was a lot of sharing. There was a beautiful group of people gathering, and we were just able to, I think, open up the space enough to allow everybody to share, which was so beautiful. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes I think when you share it, it can be that little bit of adjusting period. So this meditation this morning is geared towards just letting everything calm, exactly where you are, exactly who you are, exactly what's happening in your life. Is not only that it's needed, but it's also it's it's a powerful component of what's just happening in the world, what's happening. And if you feel courageous enough to share, or if you are more of a person who's not a sharer per se, but are a listener, and you support the people that share, there is this beautiful um, flow that occurs. And of course, it's always important. And some of us share or have the ability to feel more comfortable with being uncomfortable. Maybe that's part of it, or you just our personalities. So either or, this, if you're either wanting to share or needing to express yourself to a loved one or to someone in your life, this one will help to kind of bring that energy up. And my hope is to activate that space, so then you do feel kind of in your empowerment and you can feel comfortable to share. And then if you have shared, and sometimes the flip side of that is you share and you kind of feel a little, ooh, that was a big share, and you feel the urge to kind of bring your energy into your little proverbial cocoon, then this will hopefully also help to just be like, it's okay, I'm safe. Everybody that, like, whatever I have said and expressed was meant from a place of genuine heart space. And if it was your truth, and if you needed to express it, sometimes it comes out in spurts, sometimes it comes out blah, blah, blah. However it came out needed to come out. And of course, if there's residual conversations that need to happen after the fact, you can do that, and hopefully do it with a little bit more just understanding and compassion for yourself. So let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Activating the energy in between the hands. And for today, I am feeling a little tired. So we're just going to put some hands and some energy over the eyes, over the head, over the face, the throat, and the neck. Whenever you feel right, or whenever that feels right to do so. Again, the exploratory is a huge component. And when I'm placing hands I usually tend to try to create a little bit of pressure. Just that little bit of pressure can really feel soothing and comforting to not only the face but just the body in general. So again, noticing what your body's feeling and what it's needing for this morning. Last time here. And wherever you happen to be listening to this, whether you're laying down, whether you're in a sitting position, or any other shape that takes form in your body and feels right for you, just really noticing your sit bones or noticing your comfort level. If you need support under your neck, under your head, really getting into a comfortable position. And then as we get started, we're just going to kind of roll those shoulders. So finding that space that allows your chest to open, allows your breathing to start to take precedence. So again, if we've been or if we felt in a state of being vulnerable or feeling like for whatever reason, I was working from my own story and going more from just like feeling like I overshared a little bit within a group dynamic that I feel very supported and loved in, but yet I still felt like I overshared. This just helps, just allowing your breathing to take precedence, allowing just that opening through the heart space, noticing how your throat is feeling. If it's feeling constricted, sometimes it can. And if it is, just sending love there. Don't change that feeling or that sensation. I encourage you to lean into it more. That leaning in then allows it to feel accepted. And when I say it, our physical body, the physical body's need and almost desire to be able to communicate to us is so crucial and so important. And within the work that I do, I work with the uh, physical element of the physical feels on a daily basis. So it's I think I spent most of my career just learning how to communicate to different people's bodies and learning how to pick up within my own, but also in others as well. So just tuning into your body, tuning into the sensory feelings, allowing it to come forward, allowing yourself to actually highlight it wherever it may be. For myself, again, it's like my throat and my kind of heart space. I've been noticing that my shoulders have been really contained in a semi-protective state, and I'm just reminding them that we don't need to do that. So okay, let's get myself together here. So for our meditation, just want you to take a deep belly breath. So if it feels right for you, placing your hands on the belly, inhale and expand. Exhale and just really allow that belly abdomen to relax. Doing that a few times, tuning into that belly space, that area, our empowerment, that area that's telling us when something feels right, yay, yay, or when something feels not so good or feels like it's not not jiving with us. And it's a subtleness, it's a subtle kind of gut reaction. Now I'm allowing and I'm encouraging you to breathe in whatever way feels right for you. However, we're going to begin to transform that breath into a space that has a little bit more structure to it. So as you inhale, it's still going to be a deep, full inhale. However, I'm going to really encourage you to inhale and exhale through the nose, a little bit, a couple of pieces, but a little bit of extra filtration is going to be helpful, as well as we come into some of those hopefully kind of resistant areas, whether it's in our body, whether it's in our emotions, whether it's in our mind. This breathing, it keeps it within a calm slash gentle and kind of almost like a healing environment. So the air is getting circulated through the nose. It's warmer as it comes into our body. It just comes in a slightly filtered way on many levels. So just allowing your breathing again, and the next time you inhale, just trying to transition it to inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. And as you inhale in and out through the nose, I'm also going to encourage you to notice where your tongue is and just where that tongue is naturally gravitating or where it's naturally relaxing. And if it feels okay, I'm going to get you to just gently rest it on the very top of your mouth, so on that ridge, and just kind of ever so subtly pushing the tip of your tongue towards the back of your front teeth. And again, doesn't have to be aggressive. It's just kind of almost a gentle holding space. There's several reasons for this that I might go into after the meditation. So just noticing where the tongue is, placing it on the roof of the mouth, and then ever so slightly pushing that point of the tongue into the back of the teeth. And letting it just relax there, seeing how it allows the throat, or seeing how it allows the jaw. How does the jaw, the throat, how's that feel being in that position? And again, each of our bodies are different, so just noticing it. Beautiful. So our meditation is going to be, I'm going to be guiding you. So I might kind of go back and forth between having my eyes open and having my eyes closed as I tune into where I need to take us. But for yourself, I highly encourage you to allow your eyes to close and just allow yourself to kind of relax into this process. So, a visual or guided meditation, guided visual meditation can be a really helpful way to just release control. Just let it go, and that is a big piece of what we're going to be working on today. So, enjoy. So, to begin with, taking your inhale and allowing that inhale to infuse your lungs, infuse your body, and just really encouraging that inhale breath to just take an extra few seconds here as it fills up the lungs, holding that feeling of creating and taking up space. And as you exhale, I encourage you to just visualize exhaling and really allowing whatever in your body is feeling like it's stuck or stagnant, really giving it a little bit of permission to begin to release, begin to the allowing process to let go. So as you do that, we're just going to tune into that sensation for the first breath or two here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, and as you inhale, you try to expand that inhale just a little bit more. And as you exhale, you fully exhale while simultaneously taking note of anything that's feeling tight, tender, resisting, and just truly giving it the permission to let go if it's ready to do so. Beautiful. Now, I want you to picture a space that feels very calming, relaxing to you, and it's a visualization and that if you can create the dynamics of it as intricate as possible. So, first of all, you might take in shapes or colors or feels, depending on the person and how you go about activating your imagination and your visualization. For others, it might just be more of a place that you've been to before, so a place that allowed you to feel really connected to source, to self, or you just know of a theme that feels really that resonates for you. So whether that is water, lake, ocean, whether it's being on the beach or being in the middle of a forest by a creek, perhaps you're beginning to activate and listen to the bubbling brook. Maybe you're in a hayfield. Maybe you're, laying on soft sand somewhere, and maybe that's all you're needing to feel to get into that safe space. The visualization can take and bring forward as much energy as you can. So really cultivating, what does it smell like? How does it feel? For the time being, we're just creating that space for ourselves. So we're there and we're in the space, and that energetic body is truly taking everything in our physical body, even though it's starting to absorb the sensations, the feelings. So as you begin to paint this creative visualization, taking another breath or two and really allowing it to absorb and marinate within yourself. And as you begin to continue to cultivate that space, I'm going to encourage you just to notice how the temperature is. Is the sun coming down on you? Is it maybe the middle of the night and it's just a cool, gentle breeze coming across your face, coming across your body? Choose the environment, choose the sensations that come forward for you. Those are all going to be important elements of really tuning into your unique safe space, your container. As you can connect to this space, I'm going to slowly begin to add components. So as you, on your next inhale breath, I'm going to just encourage you to begin to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingertips. And as you wiggle the toes and fingertips, I want you to be so hyper aware of how the fingers feel, of how the toes feel for you. And depending on the shape that you're in this moment, we're going to slowly work up into the calves, the ankles. And I want you to just, with intention, with creativity, with so much self-awareness, just bring your mind's eye to those calves, to those ankles. Maybe if it feels right for you, moving the ankles around. And then simultaneously beginning to notice the wrists and the forearms. And we're just going to slowly begin to move those forearms if that feels right for you. From here, we're going to be working up into the knees and the bending and possibly extension of the knees, and then the elbows. And then working up even further into the quads, the areas of your body, those extremities, into the biceps and triceps of the arms and up into the shoulders, into the quads, the IT bands, the hamstrings, so the front, sides, inner thighs, and back of the legs, and working your way up to the hips in those legs. So right now we're focusing and bringing attention into our extremities of the arms, our extremities of the legs, and truly what their purpose of activating and being able to bring us forward in life, being able to support us and our loved ones. Those extremities have so much incredible purpose and power. They create space for us. They create the opportunities that we need and desire. And I just want you to create a container here for those extremities. So I want you to really send a lot of thankfulness, gratitude, self-love to these areas. These areas are going to be a component of just noticing anything within the arms that need to shift or maneuver or readjust. If you're in a position that maybe the legs are feeling ever so slightly in a state of discomfort, the shoulders are maybe feeling a little sore, now's the time to really tune into that and give it the permission to relax and release. So move the body little bit by little bit, move the legs, the quads, the ankles, the knees, maybe even the hips. Then we're going to slowly transform those extremities for a second here. So, in your next inhale breath, I'm going to get you to slowly be mindful of your legs and your arms, but then you're going to allow the sensation of them to grow a little bit hazy. Our focus point is actually going to be on our central column and our central cord, and those extremities for this purpose, for this meditation. They are needed in our life, but for this moment, they get to just fade into the background. And so you can visualize a couple of components. You can choose to, if you're in the sand, you can choose to just simply place warm, gentle sand over the legs and over the arms. They're not going to be moving from this point forward throughout the rest of our meditation. They're going to be in a background container. Yes, they are important, but for this particular meditation today, right now, you are safe, you are secure. They are not needed. You're not going to need them to run. You're not going to need them to fight or to create. Right now, they just get to completely relax. So taking a moment, taking a breath, and really visualizing how would I be able to just really allow my legs to relax. They don't need to be activated. They're fading into the background. Allow my arms to relax, release, and truly no longer needed. They're just relaxing into the background. Now, once again, bringing that breathing to the forefront. Sometimes releasing and choosing to allow a certain part of our body to not be the forefront, especially when it comes to our arms and our legs. That can feel ever so interesting. It can feel it's change. And if you've never done this particular type of meditation where you have literally kind of allowed some parts of your body to go into the background while truly bringing other parts of the body to the forefront, it can feel a little different. So just again, lean into that lean into that sensation. The arms, they get beyond heavy, they get a little bit fuzzy, and they just sink, going deeper and deeper. Now, on your next inhale, I want you to begin to visualize and bring to the forefront where our heart space is, but we're going to come from a physical body space. So I want you to bring your sternum, your rib cage, and that chest forward, and just highlight it within your mind's eye. And as you highlighted a few things that might occur as you start to breathe into that area a little bit more. Sometimes we need to breathe out through the mouth. That is okay. However, if you can, try to keep that breathing in and out through the nose, creating that safe, gentle inhale and exhale rhythm. As you bring that forefront to the chest, I want you to now bring and soak into the abdomen, our digestive system, that space in our body that truly allows us from a moment to moment basis how we are digesting life, how we are not only digesting our food, but we're digesting the information that is coming in and we're digesting the information that is going out. So that powerhouse of our container within that tummy, within the ribs, but more so into the back, kind of that almost that space of non-structure. So whereas our chest has a lot of ribs, a lot of protection, Our abdomen, our lower back, middle back, it has less protection. It needs more safety, more guarding, and as such, it also takes in so much of our day to day life. So, being able to really tune into that tummy abdomen space, breathing deeply into it and allowing it to just take the forefront, really bring up any sensations, bring up any tightness or tenderness, noticing if your stomach is starting to gurgle, if it's starting to do any other shifts or changes. And that tummy has a special focus point for our meditation today. It's going to be our area that we infuse and that we slowly begin to draw and bring in not only space, but we're going to fill that space with a deep, everlasting sense of for myself, it's a warm, bright light. For yourself, it might be more of a glow or a hue, or it might be actual more sustainable, so something that feels like granules, or maybe even honey. So, just beginning to visualize our abdomen, and I want you to bring your mind's eye to specifically the belly button. And we want to open that space, so lots of expansion here, breathing deep into the belly. Exhaling, drawing that belly button ever so slightly towards the spine. And I want you to visualize a picture of a substance that works for you. So that substance can be pure light, it can be warm or gentle water, it can be soothing, healing honey. And you're going to slowly begin to pour that substance into the belly button, feeling and fueling and expanding the space from as it continues to go through the belly button into the abdomen. It soaks and heals and creates safety and that feeling of nurturing or even nourishment even into the abdomen. It's going to soak in between the intestines, in between each and every one of our internal organs, soothing it, giving it so much healing potential. It goes into and radiates into the spine and the lower back, maybe even going into the tailbone, into the bone structure in the hips, into the sexual organs. And as it continues to flow, it's an ever continuous flow of this beautiful healing substance. And perhaps your abdomen, you start to notice sensations, you start to notice anything that comes, and you're sending and you're noticing with so much appreciation. Every time something comes to the surface, you just love it, you appreciate it. As you continue to fill that space, that container within your tummy, your hips, your lower back, it's getting fuller and fuller, and as it gets fuller, it starts to rise. And again, it's taking up space, it's creating opening, and it's soothing up and into filling into the lower part of the rib cage. It's beginning to fuel and engage and ignite that middle back, the spine. As it continues to fill up your core space, it goes up and into and begins to trickle into the lower part of your lungs, fueling it. You can breathe deeply here. There is no restriction. It's just a soothing container. It's truly allowing our core body to feel so much of that light, of that spaciousness, and yet also feeling very secure. Perhaps it's coming up in warmth. And as it continues to go up and into the lungs, it's filling up and beginning to infuse around the heart and the heart space. It's sending so much guidance and inner wisdom to that heart space. And at the same time, it goes from the heart space and begins to trickle and expand into our shoulder blades and into our back space. As it begins to flow and soothe and create healing sensations, begins to work up and into our upper chest and our sternum, begins to work up into the neck and the throat. And as it begins to fill, again, it's a continuous filling coming in through the belly button. It's filling that bottom, and then it's rising all the way up to that throat space. And then it's holding here, just at the throat, and it's a gentle, soothing space. Once again, being mindful of your breathing. Sometimes our breath goes and ebbs and flows to where it wants to go for today, if you can, and recognizing it within self. That inhale and exhale through the nose, just guiding the light anywhere where there might have been maybe an overlap, or there might have been a little bit of misplaced energy. You're just soothing it and letting it calm itself, creating that essential and powerful inner light within the space. Now, as we continue to go through and fill the inner void of our inner column, of the central column of energy, intuition, this is our power space. We now begin to float and explore up and around, and we're going to actually go through the back of the neck first, and we're going to go up and through the brain, and that spinal column is going to guide us. We're going to slowly infuse that substance up the spine into, and that connecting point at the base of the brain. And then I want you to allow it to just flush, almost like a wave, over the head, in through and through every neural pathway within the brain, soothing it with so much self-love, so much inner guidance, that you just feel solidity, solid in the self. And as that substance flows over the brain and then kind of resides back to the very base of the skull, so it's a wave sensation. It comes up and over, and then it slowly recedes and comes back to that base of the skull, to the connecting point of the spine, allowing that sensation, that visualization to occur for you. And what does that sensation feel like? How does that feel? And then one more time, just again allowing that substance to come over the brain, but this time it begins to collect in through and onto the forehead. As it collects and as that energy comes into and out of the forehead, I want you to again just notice this pulling. It's a gentle pull, but it's a pull nonetheless, of bringing your awareness to that forehead space, and just noticing and feeling that substance coming up and over. And from here, it's actually going to create an ever so gentle pooling. And as it pools in and along the forehead, there begins to create, you can notice an ever so gentle tug. And it's a gentle tug, but a tug in and around to the center of that forehead. On your next inhale breath, what's going to occur is that from that pull, there now begins to feel a lift. And you can choose to do this with your mind's eye, or you can actually choose to place a hand, if that feels right for you, onto the forehead, gentle, and then just slowly bring it away. And notice the sensory, notice as you're drawing away, what you're visualizing is beginning to draw all that light, all that fluid, all that substance that is just soothed your internal space, and you're drawing it out and then you're releasing it. And again, if you're in a shape where you're in a sitting shape, perhaps it feels right for you to open through the throat and just notice it's a drawing, a continuous drawing up of all the substance coming up and up and up through that forehead, out and beyond. And it's just going out, and it's creating space and pulling with it anything that doesn't need to be there anymore. And whether that can be emotional, that can be physical, that can be mental. That substance that you had infuse your internal and your core body is being pulled out through that forehead, and it's slowly dissipating into the ethers, allowing the universe, allowing the world, allowing the space around us just to take it. And it does, allowing, if it feels right for you, to just dissipate and absorb itself into the environment. And it's pure, loving energy. It does so much benefit for the space you are in. And it's a continuous and constant drawing out, bringing with it anything that no longer serves you, leaving behind your core body filled with space and utter self-love. And as the last of it starts to come up through the neck, comes up and it's coming over the throat, the last of that substance is once again starting to come up and over top of the brain, coming over and slowly dissipating, going into the ethers from the forehead. As the last of it comes out through that third eye or through that forehead space, once again, I want you to slowly begin to activate those hands. It doesn't have to be fast, but you want to activate. And then placing one hand palm over the forehead, placing the other hand palm on top of that hand. I want you just to slowly infuse that hand's pressure onto the forehead space, and then gently releasing it. And taking a few breaths, inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, noticing any sensations, noticing anything that's coming to the surface, feeling it, releasing anything that you need to that still needs to be released, and just really leaning into this grandeur, this space that is created. And then we're going to close this particular meditation. You can choose to bring your hands onto your heart space. You can choose to just keep your hands down by your side. We're going to slowly begin to change our breathing style. So on your next inhale, you're going to inhale with so much gratitude. Inhale for the moments, the time you've taken this morning. And exhale with a gentle sigh. Doing that 2 more times. And then you can choose to kind of just stay in this state if you want to, or if you need to kind of start the day and or maybe you're going to sleep and you're wanting to continue to relax into your evening um, rituals, you can just allow the hands to come once again and just allow your body to open, allow your eyes to stay closed. Or if you choose to come forward, you can allow the hands to come here and you can just shake out the hands. Maybe doing a little bit of gentle tapping onto the chest, working up and into the neck and the throat. And then continuing to do this tapping onto the crown and onto that forehead specifically. So just waking up the senses. So as you use those fingertips, that energy, and again, you activate it if you start to feel the activation is diminishing, get those hands together and creating this tapping sensation anywhere that feels right for you in this moment. And then when you feel ready to do so, you can choose to kind of engage the lower body if you haven't already done so. Begin to roll out through the wrists, the ankles, the fingers. Bring yourself into this space once more. So meditations can allow us to really feel out how we're doing. Maybe we are feeling overwhelmed or concerned or even perplexed about a situation, not quite sure how to handle it, and maybe even feeling like we already handled the situation not the ideal way, not the way that we were hoping to. This meditation can be just a really powerful way to soothe that, to understand we are human, we are experiencing life from a moment to moment basis, and that experience we are not perfect beings. We are not meant to be perfect beings. We're meant to live. We're meant to make mistakes. We're meant to feel. We're meant to feel all the sensations, all the emotions. And when those emotions maybe have been pushed away, or maybe, as I was sharing at the beginning, we've overshared. It's not an oversharing. It's just an expansion that's occurring. And so this meditation, I find, can just really create a soothing, safe space, and it can help for if you're needing to go into a situation or you've come out of a situation feeling a little bit vulnerable. It just really helps to soothe that. So thank you so much for experiencing that with me. I am just going to say a wonderful and thankful goodbye for this morning, and I will see you tomorrow.